Alright, time to get back into Pathologic. Dive right back into this shit. Got a good hour. Ugh. Got a good hour before school starts anyway. Ugh. So I try to stream right after I eat lunch. Not drinking enough fluids. That's a problem. Okay, where the fuck am I? Oh, I just got done with that. So, journal won't work. Okay, map. The map. This is where Isidore Brook lives. The man that had brought me to this remote place. He is the last person who saw Simon Kane alive. It's gonna be one of those long ass walks all the way to the other side of the district. You're creepy. The native populace in this game just looks fucking creepy as hell because it's the 90s in Russia and the programming for the AI is just creepy looking. Like this guy. Looks like a fucking zombie. Oh wait, actually, what's in here? Is there anything I can buy in here? Fucker! There we go. You're a creepy ass shop owner. Dried fish, egg, fresh fish, dried meat, fresh meat. How much money do I have? 1448. I'll come back later. What's in these garbage cans? Nothing. Fucking. Got glitched again. Alright. You are creepy as fuck, dude. I hate to sound racist, but the black guys in this game, their fucking animations and their facial expressions are so fucking creepy. And the children, too. The children are creepy. The white guys and, like, grown-ass women aren't really that creepy. They're just fucking weird. But, I mean, look at this guy. It looks like he's on fucking drugs. How do you do? Yeah, look how creepy that shit is. More garbage cans. What do we got here? Ooh, water bottle. Oh, water bottle. For a game about defeating the plague, taking my first resources from the garbage is totally the brightest opening move. Just pathologic logic. And sewing needles from the garbage to use as syringes. I'm just a walking along, singing this song. Da, 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 da. Okay, where the fuck am I? I'm in the wrong fucking district. I should be up a lot more. Still waiting for that remaster. I bet this game's gonna be a lot fucking freakier when the actual remaster comes out for it. You know, this is technically the remaster, but like Pathologic 2, which is practically just a reimagination of the first one. This will be coming out soon. Skip to the thing. I'm gonna have so much water on stockpile for when this plague hits. Fuck you looking at, bitch? What's this place? The Rod, the mansion of Katerina and Alexander Suvorov. Peter Stedman studio. Isidore lives at the road. He lives up in here somewhere. I'm assuming where those guards are. What is up with these fucking bitches staring at me constantly? Okay, tie your shoe right when I fucking get here. Twin brothers. A foul murder occurred here this night. No unauthorized access allowed. Inspecting the crime scene is strictly forbidden until further notice. Who was killed? Well, you're not a local, sir, so you're unlikely to understand the loss we've suffered. Isidore Baruch, great surgeon, a benefactor to us all, and an all-around skilled doc. An outstanding man, beloved and well-respected by us locals. Does it really always have to be the very best? What a foul time we live in. I knew him, I'm a doctor too. Whoever killed our only doc must surely be looking to get us all killed. Isidore could cure anything. He also knew how to make cuts or incisions, because he was a warden. He knew his lines all right. Like I said, it all makes sense. Whoever killed Simon took Isidore's life too, and this is merely the beginning. What makes you think these two cases are connected? Well, who would have the heart to attack such men? If you had been here and asked me yesterday, I'd have told you no one would dare inflict such an ugly wound on this town, but if there is someone, it has to be just that someone. Although it looks fishy, if you ask me. The thing was no man. That's what I think. Explain yourself. See, this murderous deal is all mysterious. There was a talon struck in the victim's chest. Go ahead, bend your arm at the elbow, good sir. Yeah, like that. There you go. That's how long it was. It broke off. There was no dust on the floor, for the deceased had been a renowned step walker, and the dust was all covered in hoof steps and, like, traces of a sharp bone, I guess. As if someone was using a walking stick around there. I'm telling you, it's her. The Shabnakadia, the clay man-eater. Unexpected building. We've been assigned to this post by Alexander, the head of the Suboril family. His house is in decline right now, but it's still powerful and very much respected, for it is they that's been responsible for maintaining worldly order and public safety in the town since olden days. Please kindly address your concerns to him. There's their rod. You just take that road up there and get to the Cape. As for me, I'm not authorized to let you in. You should have just said that from the start. The fuck? Witch burning, huh? Revolver ammunition. More revolver ammunition and an actual fucking revolver. There you go. But in the fire she is not to burn, for she is made of clay. Wrong, all wrong. Hardened, she must fall apart. They're not stopping. Oh dear, oh dear, oh. What have you done? How is it? That was no Shebnek, that was a girl, a living girl. Smells like burning flesh, huh? A mistake then. Gotta keep looking. Come on, fellas, let's find this bitch. I haven't combed the backbone yet. Oh. Apparently I can't fucking do anything. Alright, let's there's the rod, alright, so I have no fucking idea where the hell I am now. I'm fucking compass disoriented. I'm just gonna assume if I keep pushing this way, we're good. The fuck? Okay, no, I'm wrong. Fucking rod's this way. Fuck you looking at? My heart is crying for my poor children. How are my dears doing? Is everything alright? All the shares. Everyone's tired of endless construction work. We want some quiet. The states are lacking, and the constant construction provides workplaces. Fucking waste ass fucking dialogue there.
Matchmakers are coming, trying to woo me.
The only proper way for a duel to end is with the death of one of the fighters. That's what battles are supposed to be. Any conflict that has two sides inevitably turns into a battle of good and evil. Brutal philosophy. I'm not speaking metaphorically or metaphysically. I'm talking about a particular battle. You are one of the combatants. Bachelor Tchaikovsky. Do you favor good or evil? I favor winning. Spoken like a true warrior. I truly wish your victory, Bachelor, even though I doubt there can be a victory at all in this battle. Thanks.
It's true. The girl has proven that she's a saint, not a killer.
You're a brave man, Bachelor Tchaikovsky. You're overestimating my virtues. This fight is very unlike to end in your favor. Does a clay and bone man-eater leave traces of the kind you've witnessed? It's only a spell, an illusion. They just prefer to see it this way. It makes it easier for them. A fight is to be rewarded. I'm merely assisting Georgian's efforts to find the murderer. I'm sorry to break it to you, but you will have to fight to the death. Even if it were a metaphor, the ending is still unambiguous. If you don't find out what happened before nightfall, you will die. How do you know all this? I'm clairvoyant. What's the nature of your visions? That should not be your primary concern at the moment. You should concern yourself with the number of minutes you have left, and that number is dwindling. I don't throw predictions around. Others will tell you that they often come true. Do heed my words. Fine.
I'm afraid I'm of little use now.
Oh, the torment. I can't bear it. Do you think Simon Kane's death was unnatural? No, not at all. How could someone who had absorbed all our blood not die? A single man cannot handle that. There are limits to a living human's vitality, and there are limits to the world's patience. Wait, what do you mean by the limits of a living being's vitality? I've heard that somewhere before. Simon transformed our town into a single whole, a living being. He was the heart, and we were the blood running through the town's veins. We radiated his light, and that's why we used to shine so brightly. The bound are actually bound to Simon. What about the limits to the world's patience? What do you mean by that? I cannot elaborate upon this. I can only feel it as if there is a heavenly weight. Heavenly wrath. To pay back for all that he had done, the world couldn't stand it anymore. But the world must have made someone its weapon, right? Who is it for his death? Even if something did have some... I'm so fucking out of it right now. Who is to blame for his death? Even if something did have... Who is to blame for his death? Even if someone did have something to do with it, is that person worth blaming? Most likely, they didn't even realize they were killing someone. Yes, that is how it is. Now I see very clearly. Oh yeah, you're clairvoyant. Fucking wasting my time. Where's your fucking husband at? He's the one I needed to talk to.
What?
Well, you're a douche. So I finally get to see you, yes. You really do look like a messenger of sorrowful times. In any case, welcome to the Rod. Our meeting is quite significant in a way, facing the changes with open eyes and taking their first blow is my duty. Do you think we're on the verge of an especially unhappy era? No grim events have clouded our existence since last summer. The country has cured its war wounds, commercial communications have been repaired, astrologists expect nothing ill. Do you hold astrologist opinions in high regard?
This Haruspex is trying to prove his innocence. It's a no-go.
So you've come to meet with Simon, haven't you? What can I do for you now? I was actually invited by Isidore, so I came to meet him first and foremost, but now it turns out that he's been murdered, yes. Looks like the murderer is always one step ahead of you, doesn't it? The same one that took Simon's life, too. At least that's the conclusion suggested by the informant at my disposal. Same pattern, same signature. Are there any traces? Look, I haven't been able to get there myself. I'm quite content with interrogating suspects, especially since we already know who we're after. You can join the hunt, by the way. I can describe his features. Who is it then? You wouldn't believe it, his own son. The fellow came back after being away for quite a while. His father had sent him to study surgery when he was but a greenhorn. Quite a lot he has learned, huh? A wandering scholar, turned evil to the bone. All of that to grab the inheritance. So what? Did Isidore leave a fortune? I have no idea yet. His belongings are being evaluated as we speak. It's not the money, though. The steppe people idea of airship still comes with those of ancient connotations, tribal ethics. The next of kin not only inherit things, they inherit knowledge, fate, and power. Such motive is incompatible with a student of medicine in my mind. It's in their blood, oh well. The outlaw will show his true colors soon enough when we catch him. He'll have to explain the motive himself. How did you find him? In all honesty, it's hard to explain that to an outsider like you. Do you believe in such a thing as clairvoyance, Bachelor? No. Well, you should get to know my wife then, or better yet, those who have already had opportunities to witness the power of her prophecies. Former doubters, first and foremost, rationalists. She's got something to say to you too, by the way. So you do have rationalists in the town except for me. That's just... There are very few good analysts in our town. Everyone is more or less superstitious here, except for one, Yulia Luricheva. Yulia Luricheva. Took a while to spell that one out. Perhaps. A most level-headed and reasonable person. The only person to remain skeptical about Katerina's talents, too, without a shadow of a doubt. She has her own pictures of events, she always does. Exactly the person I needed. And the walk begins again. Pursuit of a killer. To find out who killed the immortal Simon Kane, the dead man's own family may not want it more than I do. I have an abiding desire to punish the murderer, to eradicate them, no matter if they were acting on their own account or at the behest of the powers that be, whoever they were. They picked the moment far too well. My gentle associate, my selfless advisor, Isidore Baruch, was the last person to see Kane alive. If it wasn't for Baruch's guidance, I never would have made it to the backwoods domain. All the more reason to start my pursuit with him. Isidore Baruch was murdered. The local authorities has sealed off his house. Alexander Zubarov, the head of the Zubarov family, has taken control of all the proceedings regarding law and order in this town. The Zubarovs are one of the one of the 3 families that governed the town, and Alexander was the person to take immediate measures after the discovery of Isidore's body. And this Yulia Lyosheeva is genuinely capable of rational thought, then she is more astute than the majority of her contemporaries in this town. There are those who would believe that if I am unable to pinpoint the murderer by nightfall, then I am destined to become the next victim. If my encounter with death is so inevitable, then maybe I should prepare myself for it. As ludicrous as it may be, the thought sent a chill down my spine. Oh my god. I remember why I quit playing this game. And the premise of it is wonderful, but it's so fucking boring at times. And it doesn't help that I'm reading everything on this stream. Normally I can just glaze over it and then fucking move on to the next dialogue. The amount of time it took me to stream all this, I'd probably be done with the whole day by now. That weird ass structure. With no support beams. What are you selling? You sell kerosene and hooks. Yeah, no. Hooks are good for late game, but for now, no. This is the place, yep.
I should let some fresh air into the room, but I don't feel like it.
Okay then. I don't see why that really fucking matters. I seem to have lost any capacity for observation. My mind is out of tune. Things no longer add up. Before I had no trouble forming a trustworthy tessellation out of the most imperceptible contingencies. Now I simply cannot get my head around it. Could it be that I am dying? It happens when people are tired. You probably haven't slept for a while, haven't you? Oh no, Herba tivrine is the blossom I grant you, but then it blooms every year. Every year the steppe is filled with its stupefying vapors. The issue I am having, however, has nothing to do with the fatigue or perplexity. It is just that I've lost my ability to make distinctive conclusions. Distinctive events coincide. Whatever's that. No matter what preternatural the fuck traits are the locals ascribe to it, Tyre is all heady aroma, a bunch of superstitions and remarkably little else. It has psychoactive properties after a fashion, but then so does simple wormwood. Visions caused by ingestion of belladonna or Jimson weed are much more fascinating than what Tyre has to offer. It's a pity I'm not a botanist.
I'm afraid it's natural. Simon was doomed.
So, you traveled all the way here, only to find that both people you wanted to see were brutally murdered. Is that how the story goes? I do hope that your visit is not in any way related to these unfortunate circumstances. I have to find whoever it is that killed Isidore and Simon, and I wanted to ask for your help. Subarov told me you have a gift for all manner of investigation inquiries. I am certainly no better investigator than you. I never had a chance to search for a murderer before. The best I can offer is to fill in the blanks with whatever mysterious supernatural entities seem most fitting. Shebnakadir is the simple man scarecrow. I would have followed a different narrative. kind of narrative. Consider the circumstances of his death. They said Simon had locked himself up in the evening and consequently died in the morning inside the mansion in a chamber with some peculiar name. In this case, I would suggest that Simon was poisoned by the Canes, I would have thought, but I know their family all too well. Their mutual loyalty is only rivaled by their arrogance toward anyone who is not one of them. They hold the princely sage who stands at the head of their family in highest esteem. They believe that a single dishonorable act will tarnish their name for generations to come. I doubt any of them would have stooped to this, no matter whether they wanted to or not. Poison, how did you arrive to this conclusion? I don't believe you understand what he died and focus really implies. Do you know what the Canes refer to as focus? You don't seem to grasp the semantics of that term. These are the Canes for you. These kinds of innuendos are their forte. Well, what's the focus then? The focus is anything but an abstraction. Quite the opposite, in fact. It is governed by mathematically rigged regularities. You see, no one but the owner of the focus may get inside. This can only mean that Simon had brought the killer with him, or rather within him, since no physical object may be brought into the focus either. How do you know that? Who doesn't? The Canes are notoriously passionate about all manner of synthetic anomalies. They will never pass up the opportunity to devise a Kunststück that would allow them to warp space, challenge physics, or manipulate optics. Metaphysically, a focus can be compared to a camera obscura. Do note that the name is not unfitting. No, it is entirely impossible for someone to get inside. A curious conclusion, but an incorrect one. Simon was disfigured and bleeding. His bones were broken. Is that so? Well, this does introduce a different perspective. Did you say Isidore was the last person to see Simon? The question is, who did he see before? The sun had not yet set when Isidore returned from the steppe. However, he came to Simon well after midnight. The question naturally arises, where did he spend the missing few hours? That's why I'm trying to trace Isidore's steps. I want to walk in the same route. Don't get me wrong, though. Was Isidore seen with Savarov by any chance? I don't know. Suvarov interpreted as coming as an omen of an upcoming unrest among the workers. Alright, let me suggest then that while he was in the steppes, he saw or learned something that he wanted to report to all three ruling families. In this case, either the Ogumsky family should have been on his itinerary, especially since Baruch was one of their own men, really. Definitely the Bull Project, from the abattoir to the railway, is controlled by the Ogumsky family. If Isidore's discovery had anything to do with the kin, Isidore would have certainly relayed that to Vlad. So do make sure to pay visit to the Lump. That's the name of the Ogumsky mansion. Another fitting name, wouldn't you agree? Thank you, Yulia. What would I do without you? Alright, to the Lump. Away. The Lump. Just that name, though. Alright. Such a dusty ass fucking neighborhood, seriously, just like there's hardly any blue in the sky. What are you looking at, you fucking sheds? Is that the mansion? No, the mansion's way the fuck down here. Wonder. What's in the trash bin? 2 water flasks. We know about you. No, I don't think so. Well, that's not creepy at all. Oh, what do you guys?
The girl is fine, but the boy... the boy's unbearable.
Oh, Bachelor Dinkowski, of course. Who else could be so dapper? I've heard quite a lot about you. Have you taken a look around? Be sure to check the state of the industry around here. We have our own ways. How curious. What's the state of your industry? Come now. It's a complicated establishment with 1,000 years of history. A special approach is required to control such a colossus. See where I'm getting at, emissary? Such businesses always leave room for improvement. I can see we're not really seeing eye to eye. The project is special, very special. That means common standards do not apply here. That would be very naive. You're probably right. Yes, getting
So
everything
my
back on
Haruspex is the
track.
Ripper? Funny.
Yes, getting everything back on track won't be an easy task. Yes, it'll be hard.
What?
I'd like to inquire about the fate of my colleague Isidore Baruch, about the manner of his death, to be precise. What are you implying? What is this manner that you are talking about? Be so kind as to mind your own manners. I had nothing to do with it. Don't they say Isidore was murdered by a step demon, a Shebnachadier? There was that thingy, talon they fished out from his wound. I can take this from kids and weirdos, but you, respectable negotiant. It's hard for you to believe, isn't it? It used to be hard for many. Take my boy, for example, a scoffer, if I've ever seen one. And now even he believes it's real. He went off his head a bit. You're in the step now, esteemed sir. Eastern and backwards. The dead rise from their graves here. Clay dummies dance and bulls talk. Does he know the stuff well, this son of yours? He rubs elbows with that rabble, the butchers and donge, shepherds and gatherers, learns their tongue, collects their legends. He doesn't keep them in check at all. They even dare to come visit him within the premises of the town. If you see a worm creeping through the streets, he's definitely looking for my son. Call them rabble. They're dangerous, they're aggressive, and they hate everyone who isn't a step person. They'll jump you and kill you on the spot. They'll even tear you up with their teeth and devour your flesh while you're still throwing fists at them. So if they're spotted within the town, countermeasures are to be taken. So what of your son? Perhaps he could tell me more about this creature. Hold your horses. You want to talk to my blockhead? No. You have nothing to talk about. He's not here, thankfully. I don't want you two to meet. You heard me? These are tradesmen's words. I'll stick to them. Yes, undoubtedly.
No, I won't believe in some earthen killer.
Yes, how do you think Simon died? I don't think he was murdered. How could you have craved monocracy and not Paris? He could not in this place. Balance requires equilibrium. So what you're saying is Simon's death worked in favor of the local hotshot, huh? Come now, what I'm saying is, when someone takes too much upon themselves, they always end up ground down. That's how life works. But there were signs of an otherworldly visitor that night, weren't there? Simon has lived a very long life, very long. He was a worthy man, but long doesn't mean eternal, does it? No one is to blame for his death. Examine the body, you'll see for yourself. It just happened. Okay, well, let me examine the body. Well, that is temporary, a family tradition. He's not lying to you. He truly believes Simon was murdered. Were he to admit that Simon simply died of death, he'd probably go to his last home himself. The shock would be too much for the man. That's strange. Georgie Kane didn't appear sentimental to me.
What?
Isidore came by to see you last night. Don't try to deny it. So what if he did? I'm also aware of what you two were talking about. All I want to know is why he left to see Simon afterwards. Oh my, pray forgive me. So he wanted to bring me to heal that traitor, that bastard. Well, what he asked for was for me to stop the factory. How could I not kick him out? What did he tell you? Who else could he have spoken to? Perhaps someone could take measures of what kind? Huh? That, my dear and respectable friend, is none of your business. My property, like I said, is in order. See the skin and meat delivery reports. Do you know how hard? No way. It's my domain whether anyone riots or not, and I'll have my way with them. I see. You're the big guy here. Alright, well, anyone else in this fucking house? Oh, it's just your fat ass, alright. Bing. The fuck? It's another one of those things.
It is easier to govern others than to prevent being governed.
You found me here. Oh well, I'm not surprised. I suppose you're not too surprised by the fact that everyone knows about you either. The rumor of your arrival spread like fire. Why do you come? I've come for sightseeing. There was a peculiar incident yesterday by the spleen. The children were playing in the mud as usual, but then suddenly they ran away from the sandbox, and the parents noticed that their hands were smothered in blood. However, none of them were wounded, and neither were any of them surprised. Such things happen all the time. Nice to meet a person with a skeptical mind. I am Vladislav Ogimsky, the younger one, of course, and you are, of course, Danil Dunkovsky. Yes, that is me.
Katerina thinks Clara is a messenger from heaven. Yeah, right.
Bachelor, I have news for you that should prove to be of interest. You seem to be looking for the killer, right? I'm listening. I'll have to briefly explain a few things to you. Have you already been told what the termitory is? No, I haven't. The termitory is a huge bunkhouse where the Bull Project workers live. Although living is the wrong term for it, they nest. Their nesting is a commune with a rather simple way of life. It could, without reservation, be called savage. And what is... It is the whole industrial system of the town, from the abattoir to the goods station. Would you care to listen as to why I wanted to see you in the first place? Very much so. Please go ahead. Let's get to the point then. A case of pointless, aimless unrest has occurred in the hive mind's nest. The workers are prone to lashing out from time to time, like beasts frightened by a storm. They raise a howl, they gnaw at one another. An unsightly image of a mass uprising. And that is exactly what's going on there right now, isn't it? Precisely. Why are you telling me this? Riots occurred in the dormitory several times before. The mob goes crazy for a few days, and they calm down just as unexpectedly. All of them at once. The sudden calm is just the void of reason, as the unrest that had set them agging previously. Having a certain experience with the kin, we simply blocked the entrance to the zoo off until the riots defeats itself. And we usually lock them up beforehand. The evidence of an upcoming outbreak of mass lunacy becomes obvious in advance, and the dormitory's Father Superior informs us of it. But the Father Tai Chi has recently passed. A curious coincidence, don't you think? Mass anarchy, anyway. A member of the kin managed to run off into the town while we were busy taking measures. You think he is the killer? I think you and I can help each other, Doctor. You are looking for the killer, and I'm sure it is a runaway butcher. The title of the half-man suits him very nicely. The Canes claim that Simon had not been killed by human hand, don't they? And our family doesn't need unnecessary unrest in this town. This butcher can babble devil knows what. His mind is most likely clouded with insane ideas. I'd rather he kept mum about what was happening inside. You are correct. They barely know how to speak, but that only makes it worse. Half man, half beast. If they start preaching, you feel as though you've encountered a doomsayer. I need this butcher to disappear. Hand him over to the Canes or simply kill him if the beast attacks you. The reward will be hefty. Very well, I'll look into this. Where can I find him? He is most likely being harbored in a suspicious house. That's in the crude sprawl. Yes, my father is a man of rather hard-handed disposition and quick-tempered to the boot. If he finds out the crude sprawl is concealing a fugitive, he will make a mess. Pointless brutality serves no one. I'm looking for peace rather than blood, I'm telling you. I'll do my best to make sure you're right. Show me the house. Vlad the Younger is more than eager to get rid of some beast-like troublemaker. I wonder what the creature whose murder would not be considered a crime looks like.